This is a Mohammed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the Copper Box. What a night of boxing. Let's start with the main event. Anthony Yarde is back.
He certainly is. I mean, that was a massive statement he made tonight against a very, very good fighter in Lyndon Arthur, who ranked #1 in the world. Great fight, a fantastic fight, you know, from the first bell to first round. And, you know, he prevailed at the end. He was determined to impose himself on Lyndon, and eventually he did.
Since that fight with Kovalev, where do you think that Anthony Yarde's been, Frank?
I think the problem was his tactics against Kovalev as well. He should have won that fight, and certainly against Lyndon in the first fight. I'm not saying he would have won it, but for at least 10 rounds he was doing pretty much the same thing, and there was no variation until I think it's pretty much the last round. And this fight, he obviously, you could see that it wasn't about, you know, looking for the big bombs. He actually did get behind his jab, won the first round. I think Lyndon won the second round, and, you know, third was what it was, and then that fourth round was just explosive. I mean, he caught him, and I've got to say, he's probably one of the top 3 best finishers in the game when he gets a man in trouble. I mean, you look at his record now, it's 23 fights. He's won 21 of them by knockout, and when he had Kovalev all over the place, and he wobbled Lyndon in the last round of the fight. So he's always a dangerous man. Well, he certainly is a dangerous man, as you see.
Has he answered a lot of questions tonight? Because every time he'd been in a big fight, quote unquote, Kovalev, Arthur, the criticism was he doesn't rise to the stage. Well, he's beat a quality fighter tonight.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he did what he had to do. I think he did against Kovalev. I think he just got his tactics wrong. Remember, he's in Russia as well. It weren't like he's fighting at York or something. He went to Russia, the other guy's backyard, hostile environment, and on the judges' cards, he was in front on the cards of those judges till the end, till he ran out of gas. But it's all about learning as well, and you've got to remember the experience that he came from, the sort of lack of experience he had as an amateur. He's basically been learning as a pro. I mean, he had 11 fights as an amateur. That's all he had.
What is next for Anthony Yarde?
Well, he'll now be in the one spot, won't he? And obviously we've got the fight with Joe Smith defending his title against Callum Johnson, and he'll fight the winner. And
in terms of Lyndon Arthur, is he okay?
I haven't had a chance to see him. I mean, he had to sit down, he had to take some air. The medics looked after him. I'm quite sure he's recovered, and, you know, he showed his true mettle tonight. He's a very strong and game guy, and I don't think anybody would have taken those punches tonight. I don't think anybody would have.
Frank, can I ask promotionally with Lyndon, what is the situation moving forward with you and him?
With Lyndon?
Yeah.
If he won tonight, he was with us still, and if he got beat, then it was the end of the contract.
Okay. Will you talk to Pat and Lyndon about...
Of course. I like Lyndon. I mean, I never had a problem with Lyndon. Not at all. Never had a moment's problem with Lyndon. You know, it was a bit annoying what was going on in the background afterwards, and some of the denying there was a contract. That was not right. But anyway, we got over that, and it is what it is. But yeah, I like Lyndon. I think Lyndon's a really good fighter.
Joshua Buatsi was in the house tonight. What do you think he was thinking?
Well, look, if he wants to make, do you know what? We'd make that right now if he wants it. Not a problem. Can have that right now.
Frank, let's talk about Shiraz Skeet. What did you make of that?
It was, like I said at the beginning, it was someone who had 13 fights against somebody who had, 32, 33 fights? Yeah. Tremendous experience, really good experience, really good pro, clever pro, boxer, good boxer. And there were times he was old man in him in the fight. And I thought, sometimes he was following him around the ring, not cutting him off, Hamza. And it took him a while to get himself into his stride. And he's a smart operator, Bradley. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. And he's a very, very good finisher. He gets a man in trouble.
What did you make of the moment where Hamza hit him whilst Bradley was on the floor?
Well, he knocked him. Someone said he pushed him down. What I've seen of it, I thought he knocked him down, caught him a couple of shots, then hit him. Then he was on the floor and he hit him with a punch. But you see that in lots of fights, where a guy take a couple more shots or take a shot when he's on the floor. I'm not saying that's right, but the referee should jump in. Yeah. The referee should be there. No one called a halt to it in the referee, and it was just momentum, and he got docked a point.
Thoughts on that?
And he came back into it and did what he had to do.
Thoughts on it?
Do you know what that fight with tonight with Brad was the equivalent of having 4 other fights. He'll learn from that, and we're going to have a good talk because you can see there's a lot of improvement to be made. You know, he's not the finished article, and there are things that he can do much better. You know, again, he's a devastating puncher, but you know there's things that he's got to improve on. And he's not one thing he's not is a fool. He knows that, and he'll learn from it.
Thoughts on Dennis McCann's win?
I thought Dennis won. He done well. He's banged his hand up. He smashed his hand up in the second round. I thought the first 3 or 4 rounds he was really doing well, and it sort of set again into a pattern because he couldn't really let his hand go, which was a shame. But he did what he had to do. He got the win, and hopefully, he can get his hopefully the hand's not going to be that bad, and we can get him out early next year.
But overall, Frank must be really pleased tonight with Shiraz and McCann win, Sam Noakes win as well, and Yard with a great main event.
And Sam Noakes boxed extremely well. You know, he's only had 7 fights. How many guys have had 7 fights at that weight going to 10 rounders? It's a bloody good. You know, he did well. He's an exceptional young talent.
Do you think that would have done well on BT Sport tonight?
I'm sure it did. I mean, it done well for everybody here. It was an exciting night. They were good fights, and listen, on paper it was always going to be a good night, wasn't it? They were all good fights, and that's how it turned out to be.
Frank, before we close off, we'll have to ask you about comments from Bob Arum saying that Saudi Arabia are potentially interested in hosting Fury USYK, and that Eddie Hearn has also said there's been talks about a step aside. Can you make any comment, please, Frank? Well,
all I can say is, there's been talks going on for a while now, and it's all got to come to fruition. It's got to move on now, and hopefully, it seems to me there is a will to make this happen, and hopefully, if we can, get everybody to sign an agreement without announcing it, we can move forward. But until it's signed, like I said the last time round, it don't mean nothing. But there is a will, and we all want it. Everybody wants this fight between Tyson and Usyk. Everybody. Let
me just ask you: do you think this will have to involve Joshua getting in a contract a shot at the winner of Fury Usyk?
Well, that's what he says he wants. So that's got to be part of the negotiations.
Frank Warren, thank you very much. Talking to IFL TV. Great night tonight in the Copper Box, and I think I'll see you in the new year next.
I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
As always.